Have you ever really wanted something and you weren't supposed to have it? Well, you probably all have parents or some sort of adult figure that likes to tell you no. And in my personal experience, I think it's better to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. About 2 years ago, I was really depressed. I got broken up with after a year-long relationship. I had graduated high school. I was going to college, but I didn't know what my major was or what I wanted to do. It was really hard. And then my childhood pet died, and everything really fucking sucked. I was going to therapy, and it just wasn't working. And at that point, I just was like, I can't take it anymore. I needed something. I needed something that was going to love me. I needed purpose in my life. So I wanted a dog. I decided I was just going to get a dog. But I knew my parents were not going to be okay with that at all. We already had a golden doodle named Biscuit. My parents were heartbroken when we lost our dog Riley. And they were enjoying not having a bunch of shedding in our house because he was a giant golden retriever. But I didn't care. I needed something. And at this point, it just seemed like life or death. I needed something to live for. So I started looking on Facebook because that's where my friends told me, and I found 6 beautiful golden retriever puppies. They were $450, and that was cheap enough for me compared to most puppies I had seen, and they're in Kentucky, and I knew I had to have them. I messaged the woman. I said, do you have any boys left? And she said, I have one. It's like, what do I have to do to guarantee him to be mine? She said, just a $100 deposit. Deal. So I mailed her a check, and I was super excited. My plan was just to bring him home. It was gonna be around the time we got out of school, and it was gonna be the week after my birthday. And I just was like, my parents won't make me take him back. So I planned it, told all my friends, told all my family, except for my parents, and everything was going good until about 3 weeks before we were supposed to get him. I came home from a late night class, and my parents had had a couple alcoholic beverages. And, you know, my parents are really, I don't even know what to say. They like to plan things when they drink. Vacations, anything spontaneous. So my dad looks at me and goes, look at this new German Shepherd puppy I found. All I could think was, oh shit. He was like, I'm gonna go get it this weekend. And I was like, oh no. What was I gonna do? So I decided I gotta come clean or they're gonna go get this dog. I was like, oh, well, I don't think we could handle 2 puppies. I think that would just be too much. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm getting a dog. They're like, no, you're not. I was like, no, I'm getting a dog. And I showed them the picture of the little golden retriever puppy I had on my phone. And I told them I already put the deposit down. The dog's coming home this day. And then they started the 5 stages of grief. They told me, they went into denial, and they told me that the page was fake. I just got scammed out of $100 and that I wasn't getting the dog. Then they got super pissed, and they said you weren't gonna have any time for the dog. Like, we don't want to take care of the dog. I told them I was gonna be fine. They then went into bargaining. They asked me if there was any way I could, not get the dog, give it back. And then they went into depression and said they would do anything for me to not get this dog. But I told them I had to get it. So they finally went to an acceptance. And about 30 minutes later, my mom decided that we could get the dog. She started looking up cages and dog toys, all kinds of stuff. And about 3 weeks later, my dad was driving me and my friend to Kentucky. And Augustus will now be 2 in October, and I've never been happier. And I definitely can say that it is much better to ask for forgiveness rather than permission.